Yes, we're here in Amsterdam at Money 2020 and we're here with Token. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name is Marten Nelson. I'm co-founder and CMO, responsible for marketing and product at Token.
And what does Token do actually, your business model?
Yeah, we provide an open banking platform, basically connecting developers with banks to initiate payments and access data through this new PS2 interfaces. Our business model is essentially we have a couple of business models depending on who is using the service. Banks typically pay a license fee, developers pay a transactions fee when they're accessing banks.
So you're actually a bridge between developers and banks. Banks are also the most important clients, I think, or also businesses or...
Really from both sides. You know, one of the challenges with open banking today is that there's a huge fragmentation of APIs across Europe. So each bank have essentially their own implementation, and that makes it horrendous for developers. So what we do is we essentially provide a single point of access for a developer. So they develop one application, and then they can use those become accessible on throughout all banks, essentially.
Right. So like the UK uses a different protocol than, for instance, Germany or Holland?
Yeah, and you know, even within the UK, where the banks have, you know, agreed to use the same standard, even then there are small variations, which means as a developer you would have to develop for, you know, 10 banks. So to speak, right? But using Token, and it's one integration, and it works with all 10 banks.
Yeah, actually, I was triggered by, of course, the name Token as a blockchain guy. So, what was actually the reason to name it Token?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, when we started the company 3 years ago or something like that, you know, the blockchain was sort of coming along, and we were quite interested in it, and we thought there were some really interesting aspects of it. In fact, the security model that we're using is all public key cryptography, so we don't use any shared secrets. It's all based on private public key pairs. And also, a big part of what we do is what we call smart tokenization, and it's essentially an authorization into an account. And so I give you a smart token. That smart token authorizes you to access my account to initiate a payment or retrieve data from it. And that is the tokenization, right? So token is a smart token is a tokenization of a bank account, essentially.
And is security one of the challenges you meet? Of course, it has to be more than secure, of course. So.
Yeah, for sure, more than secure, and I think you know, that's one way we stand out against our competitors too. We never store any user credentials. There can't be by definition any mass breaches because we don't hold any credentials, right? All private keys are stored on end users' devices, essentially. All transactions, you know, any API call has to be digitally signed. So you have to be sort of a member of the system. You need to have a key pair in order to transact.
And for the end consumer, like I or other people, do you have an app or something, or is it purely based on the developers?
No, so we do have an app, Token Open Banking, but I think, you know, what we see with banks is that they tend to want to integrate this functionality within their own mobile apps. We have a sort of a web version of it, so that if you are a developer, it's not that your customers have to download the bank's app or the Token app. They can just do it through a web interface as well.
Okay, sounds good. And what are your coming plans for 2018? I mean, why you're actually here to get more clients, or?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. We're not a charity in that sense, but no. I mean, Money 2020 is a great venue for us. We are extremely focused on the European market right now because of PS2. Even though the company is actually headquartered in San Francisco, all our field activities are out of London and Berlin for the European market. So Money 2020 Europe specifically is a really important venue for us to reach customers, partners, investors, whatever. Yeah.
Sounds good. And the whole crypto space, blockchain space, do you personally have any involvement in that? Do you own cryptocurrencies, or are you?
Yeah, I mean, I play with cryptocurrencies a little bit, more to just keep educated and understand what's going on. I'm not putting my savings into it at this point. But we have some new initiatives also within the company, and we can't quite disclose yet, but that's in sort of that space, not necessarily cryptocurrency, but solving some of the problems that cryptocurrency tried to solve. That it does involve blockchain, but more sort of bank-friendly version of it. So I hope to be able to talk about a little bit more about that in the next couple of months or so.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. So I can imagine that. Do you believe like in a bridge between actually the existing finance sector and all these new initiatives in the blockchain sector, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think any bank today has an innovation center, and in any innovation center that doesn't dabble in blockchain, is going to get questioned, right? So the question is really, is it just is it a fad, or is it just something you have to do so you sort of sound cool, right? Or does it have real applicability? And I think certainly does it have real applicability. I'm not 100% convinced that it's applicable in banking. I think I see many use cases outside of banking, perhaps sometimes in somewheres in settlements and so. But I think the whole idea of solving an issue of trust, that's not the bank's main issue, right? They tend to trust each other, right? The issues that they want to address has more to do with settlement time, the speed to do it, security, of course, and such, right? But the trust element is not a key issue they have.
No. Thank you very much for your time, and all the best here in Amsterdam. So
thank you very much. It's a pleasure talking to you.
all right.
Thank you.